I'm going to try to summarize this the best that I can. So what she was saying that she's noticing, she used to try to do a lot of this. She was a very Reggio-inspired program. And post-COVID, since we've come back from COVID, she doesn't want to call them behavioral issues, but seeing a lot of children that are acting out, not knowing how to engage with materials for long periods of time. And let me know if I'm butchering this or getting it across well. Throwing things. Neighbors are saying, "Oh, the things are coming over they're throwing things over our fence," things like that. Did I get that pretty much? So what do you do? Well, I do want to say, while we're not in a neighborhood, we do have a fence that things get thrown over, and the biology department's right next door. So we're constantly, yeah, yeah. And so I want to go back to going back. This is, how can I say this without? This is about teacher training. I'm going to go back to this is about teacher training. Rather than taking the blocks out and taking a punitive or you don't know how to work with this material, let me get it out of here. Let's sit and figure out what's the barrier. Is it the teacher's inability to help them learn? Are they needing an activity that's throwing because the blocks aren't it? So, looks like you need to throw something. Well, we can't throw the blocks. What can we throw? Let's sit down and think. So using the behavior, that's the work. That's what my teachers will hear me. That's your work. Sometimes it's not the funnest part of the work, but that's the heart of the work. If we can get that part of the work done, the children learn how to work with the materials. It's helping them learn how to be in relationship with the material, not just the people. That's the cornerstone of Reggio or any kind of good relationship
And
program.
I think that, we spend a lot of time on learning how to care for the materials. And so it's not just like a free-for-all. It's not just we put everything out and expect everything to go well because it's Reggio. We do have expectations. We have expectations to care for each other as well as care for our materials. And if you see behind Robin, those are the agreements. Those are exact words written by them. So, coming up with those together, and we do revisit that, and when we're seeing like they're throwing it over the fence, we go, "Oh no, let's go back. What is what is our agreement number 3 say?"
Or else we'll just say, "Oh, wait a minute, we need to sit down and have a discussion right now. I'm noticing lots of materials are getting thrown."
Yeah.
Not going, "Marissa, will you just please stop throwing that block and snatching it from Marissa? What if I just demonstrated for Marissa that when I'm frustrated, I can just snatch that from you and take it away?" So then what's Marissa going to do to that friend that she gets frustrated with? She's going to go snatch what that friend has and take it away, right? So that's where you hear me say that's the work. That's the work. That's why it's the ABCs, all that curriculum, that happens because it's going to happen when you do that. Sitting those children down talking about how to be with materials and why we don't throw blocks is what could happen. Oh my gosh, we could break a window. That wouldn't be kind. Oh my gosh, what happens when a window? Oh, I see you're wanting to throw something. I can't let you throw the blocks. Let's go find something you can throw. Then we're helping them because for some reason our society, we've all been raised with this ideology and this thinking that we must make people feel really, really bad in order to get them to do what's right, and that's not true.
Go ahead. I know you've been. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they taste it. we try to discourage them to taste it. I mean, sometimes they have to feel that they don't want to taste it. Some children will do. There was a teacher I was working with, and the parent kept complaining. I'm like, okay, there's sand in the diaper. The child is clearly eating too much sand. I had to really work with my teacher that it's okay to say no. Because sometimes we get to this place, well, I don't want to use no, because you heard my little spiel about yes environments. There's a responsibility we have to say no when it's time to say no, right? So, if sand's not for eating, that's probably lucky. And then if they continue, I might kind of notate that like, maybe there's a craving a mineral or something. Because there's certain things, I don't want to say that they have a condition, but there might be something missing in a diet or something. Just be mindful. And then I'll try other ways. It might be a texture. For me as an educator, maybe this baby has a sensory thing, but every child tries to eat the sand. How do you know not to eat it if you don't realize what it's, that's blech. So the more animation, I'll go back to my, sandy, blech. That's probably yucky. I had a little guy that loved tasting sand. Yeah. 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 And so I would notate that because there might be something else going on physiologically with the child. It might be a sensory thing. It might just be the fact that they can do that and nobody. But that's where I would say, my uncle, oh yeah, remember we don't want to eat that sand. That's yucky. And then I would plop myself as close as I could be to that child while I'm keeping an eye on everybody else. And then if I had to, we would eventually move that child. But always those observations that I know you guys have been really learning about is how to really make the learning visible, which we'll do in another workshop for you guys on that one. But that's, those are those anecdotal things. Those are those things you keep in your mind for development. Like that's a little different, right? I've worked with a lot of kids and you keep seeing this happen. That might be a time where you want to say, I'm noticing that more is keeping to eat the sand, Mom. Are you noticing that when you guys go to the beach? Maybe you might want to talk to your pediatrician about that. So, because those are important. It's not, the child's not clearly doing it because I'm going to eat sand today because I know it gets on Teacher Mora's nerves. That's not why the child is coming in to try the sand every morning. There's something else going on. Behavior is a form of communication. Good behavior, bad behavior, indifferent behavior is all communicating something. And so our job as these amazing educators that we are is to figure out. That's the fun of the job, is to really research what's going on. Why am I seeing this behavior? Staying curious with that. And that helps with some of that. So you guys have great observations of your children. And it could, thank you. That's another thing too. If they've never, especially for our babies, I will tell you, my son Joshua, who will be 40 this year, did not touch the ground till he was almost 9 months old. Because as a 20-year-old mom, I was like, oh, he's gonna get germs. So there's so many, it's life experience. There's so many things.
And I think you'll see that too, right? Like some parents will never do painting at home because it's a messy thing. So as soon as they're like, you have the brushes out, and they're like, no, I want to feel it on my body.
So those are those kids that are painting all over their bodies, right? And so one of the mantras we tell our parents, please don't send your children in their really fancy clothes. We don't want to be responsible for them, because we've seen in our experience children not enter into play experiences because they're worried about their clothes getting dirty or their shoes getting dirty. I also want to back that up with our families. Laundry is expensive. Going to the laundromat is at least 2 rolls of quarters now. It used to be 1 when I used to have to go to the laundromat, but now you need about $20 worth of quarters to get your laundry done. You need the laundry soap, you need transportation. So we want to be mindful of that too. So if you have children that outgrow the clothes, save those clothes. We have so many borrowed clothes here. We tell the parents, please don't send them. If the clothes get stained at schools, make those the school clothes. We don't judge you based on how your children come dressed to school, but our society does. And we know that especially for our lower income families, right? They are judged on the cleanliness of themselves. So that's, again, one of those education things that we can help with, helping empower our parents that, the best days end in dirty clothes for your child. So when your child comes home dirty, that means that they've had a really good day thinking and interacting and building their brain. And so we can support them with that, and we'll go to the thrift store, which is really funny because even the Goodwill is becoming more expensive now, but just asking for donations, do you have any old clothes that your children have grown out? Do you have older kids that you want to donate your old clothes? Your husband, you have old big t-shirts that you don't wear anymore that are stained up? Use those for your paint shirts. Let the kids put them on and put them over their clothes if you can't afford smocks.
And we've had, I had a family at a center once, and they had an open CPS case, so they were very concerned with how their child looked going home because they never knew when a social worker was going to come by. And so for this particular child, they came dressed very nicely. We changed them into clothes from their cubby, which were old clothes that we had. At the end of the day, the parent changed them back into their clothing to go home. That way, anyway, along the way, if they were stopped by their social worker, or if their social worker made an appearance,
or somebody wanted to complain that their child
then their child would we would still honor that for that, but allow the child to have the full experience of the classroom when they were at school in their safe space. And supporting the parent.
And supporting that parent to be successful in this hiccup they're in their life, right? And helping to support that parent. So it's a both and.
And we have a great handout that you can take about messy play and communicating that with families. You can give it to families. It's called Red Paint in the Hair. So it's a great handout that's available for you guys.
And it talks about, your child probably came home dirty. They probably did this today. So, you had something to say? Yeah.
Yep.
That,
That's
you know,
beneficial, yeah.
it's, and part of that too, I want to, on our own personal cultures that we carry too, for some of us, cleanliness is really important too. So that's where I'm going to challenge you to reflect within and reflect on self and value. That's our value, and that belongs to us. Our job is not to impart our value on someone else. Our job is to figure out how we can support this child's development the best that we can. And so, because sometimes it's, I'll tell you, when I first started here, I would bam on a spider when I saw, because that's what I did at home, until the director, whose name is Mary Courtney, who still is with me now, helping me with my, oh, we don't step on bugs, because if the children see you do that, then they're going to do that. So if you're afraid of spiders, I understand and I honor that, but I'm going to challenge you to get comfortable. So you know, that was 29 years ago, and I'm still holding on to that lesson. So. And I helped Robin this morning. He had a spider in his pocket, and he said, I have a spider in my pocket, because he doesn't like spiders. And so I had to help him. He couldn't get it out, so I had to help him get his spider out. So, you know, really come. But our values and things that we carry translate into our practice. So that is one of the most important things, and it's constantly what we're doing here. We're constantly in conversation and reflection. Is that Marissa will tell me, she's probably tired of it. I'm like, is that a Mora issue, Marissa? You know, because that's just being human. You guys, we're just human. We're not experts. But I can tell you that you're committed to lifelong learning, otherwise you wouldn't be here on a Saturday. There's only 7 days a week, and all of us are getting one off tomorrow. So I honor you for that.